Hello again and welcome to our February 2024 edition of Quick Kit. Links to everything we mentioned will be down in the description below. Let's get into it. Sony have announced and released a few new things this month. First off though, and probably most importantly, the Burano has finally begun shipping. I know many of you will be very pleased to hear that, as it was delayed back in January for some last minute tweaks, but now the camera is ready to go. We've got a video planned for next month which will be kind of a buyer's guide to the Burano, where we'll discuss everything you will need to think about if you do decide to grab one and answer some of the most asked questions about the camera. So if you still have any questions about it, let us know in the comments below. We also have the camera available to demo with our in-house technical team in our central London or Belgium showroom offices. Details about that are in the description below. Sony also released version 3 firmware for the VENICE 2. It brings a range of new features such as a new 33.333 FPS mode, which will help reduce flicker under certain lights, improved monitoring and anamorphic support, peaking can now be toggled via an assignable button, and a range of other smaller but asked for changes. It also has added support for features for virtual production and live production, which you can see here. This new firmware is available to download now over on Sony's site. Sony also announced the PDT-FP1, a compact portable data transmitter. This little device can use 5G to send photos or video wirelessly to an FTP server or to Sony's cloud service. This could be very helpful for certain workflows like sports and news, where you may need to get your stills or video online as soon as possible. It features 256GB of internal storage with the option to expand this out further via microSD. It has the ability to use a cellular connection, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and GPS, and has a 5000 mAh battery which should last for 2 hours when uploading. It looks like a pretty neat solution and isn't too expensive given the functionality it has for a working professional. Lastly, Sony announced a new E-mount lens, the 24-50mm f2.8G. It's a really small lens at just 3 3/4 inches long and 3 inches wide. It's also quite light at just 440 grams, which should make it great to use on smaller cameras and gimbal setups. It's a G lens, so it should perform well, but not as good optically as Sony's newer G Master zooms. But this lens is much cheaper than those and smaller, so that isn't too surprising. Bright Tangerine have been showing off their upcoming left field system accessories for the Sony Burano. This looks like a pretty comprehensive kit with all the key pieces of rigging that you would expect to see. Their solution to the EVF looks pretty cool too. It looks like there is a reinforced bracket for the LCD to mount onto, and then a modified loop, which means you don't need to flip the LCD when going between using it as an EVF or a monitor. This looks like it uses a portion of the original Burano loop, which you attach to their straight loop adapter. Bright Tangerine always make good stuff, so I'm excited to get this in and put it onto our Burano. Early this month, OpenAI announced their new text-to-video AI model, Sora. We've been keeping an eye on all things AI for a while now, and this release really is a staggering step from what we had seen before. The examples that Sora have been sharing are really good, and considering how AI generated video looked just a year ago, it's insane how far it's come so quickly. It's going to be very interesting to see how AI in general is going to be implemented across the different image creation segments. There are so many different things to think about when it comes to AI that go way beyond just our industry. But ultimately, I think with Sora, we could be looking at a technology that is going to transform the world just like the way digital imaging has. Let us know what you think Sora and AI video means for our industry in the comments below. P&S have released a new camera mount for the Alexa Mini, a mirror, Mini LF and Alexa 35, which allows you to use Cooke's new SP3 lenses with their upcoming Leica M mount. Lights originally created an M mount for these cameras, but these got discontinued last year and actually won't work with the SP3s. This new mount is the go-to for people wanting to use the SP3s with modern ARRI cameras. At €1,050 excluding VAT, this might be a smart thing for owner-operators or rental houses to grab to live with a set of SP3s so you can easily get them onto a decent range of ARRI cameras for those extra compact rigs. Fujifilm have released their latest camera, the X100 VI. This is the successor to their incredibly popular X100 V, which has been very difficult to get a hold of over the past couple of years due to its insane popularity. This new camera features a 14MP X-Trans 5 APS-C sensor paired with Fuji's X-Processor 5, which brings its performance up to the level of the X-T5. It has Fuji's latest autofocus performance, 6 stops of in-body image stabilization, and can shoot 6.2K 30 and 4K 60 10-bit 42 video though it does seem to suffer from some pretty obvious rolling shutter artifacts and heavy crop in some of these recording modes. The camera is slightly bigger and heavier than its predecessor, but it still carries over that same retro-inspired aesthetic that people love. I've owned an X100S since it was released, and now this new one has hit the market, I am seriously tempted to upgrade. Fujifilm also announced new firmware for a few of their cameras. This includes a few changes to the autofocus performance, including touch tracking subject autofocus, an improved AF algorithm, and improved tracking performance. It also includes the addition of a red frame indicator while recording being added to the X-H2 and the X-H2S. These new firmware should be releasing in spring 2024. In the summer, Fuji are planning to add the Reala-Ace film simulation and Frame.io camera to cloud to the X-H2 and X-H2S without the need for the optional file transfer grip. They also updated their XF 18-55 f2.8 to f4 kit lens with the new 16-50 f2.8 to 4 lens, as the previous lens has been on the market for a long time now. They are also planning on updating their XApp soon as well. Sachtler has announced a new series of fluid heads, consisting of the Cine 20, 30 and 50. These are firmly aimed at cinematographers, and range in size and payload specs. The Cine 20 looks to be in the same kind of area of the market as the Oconor 1040, and looks to be replacing Sachtler's Video 18, which we've used in our studio for years, and the Cine 7+7. The Cine 30 and 50 being larger look closer to the Oconor 2560 and 2575. There are definitely going to be differences between them though from the looks of it. These new systems look like they could be good options though. Here are their full specs and pricing. Laowa have announced 3 new lenses, the first being a pair of Nanomorph zooms. These are the 28-55mm and 50-100mm t2.9, both of which feature a 1.5x squeeze and Super 35 coverage. There are several flare options available which change the lens's coatings depending on what you would like, and while they come PL mount as standard, you'll be able to swap them out with a range of mirrorless mount options as well. They look very compact given that they are anamorphics, and look very affordable as well from their initial pricing on their Indiegogo. The official release is the 1st of March, so if you like the look of these, check out the Indiegogo via the link below. They also announced a new 10mm f2.80D mirrorless mount lens with autofocus, which is a first from Laowa. This is available with autofocus in Sony E or Nikon Z mount, or as a manual lens for either Canon RF or Leica L mount. It covers full frame and is rectilinear, while still being incredibly compact given how it seems to perform. Laowa always do such a good job at offering unique lenses at great price points, and this was the case with the 12mm and their other 0D wide angles which came before this one. Earlier this month, Zeiss announced their newest series of cinema lenses, the Nano Primes, and we have released 2 videos about them already, which you should check out if you haven't. They are a 6-lens set of T1.5 mirrorless mount cinema primes firmly aimed at filmmakers wanting image quality inspired by the Supremes in a compact and neat housing at a fraction of their price. Their image is clean and versatile, making them a great choice for owner operators wanting an image close to the Supremes, which can be used across a range of different productions, be that corporate to more arty productions with the help of filtration and post-production tools. They are priced at £20,000 for the 6-lens set, which comes with a nice custom case for them, and are also available singularly for £3,500 for the 24, 35, 50 and 75, or £4,000 for the 18 and the 100mm. Right, let's get into our quick fire honourable mentions. Links to details about these are in the description below. ARRI released firmware 1.5.7 for their UTAPs. ARRI announced the Orbiter beam optic for their Orbiter fixtures. Astera launched their new projector lens for their Pluto Fresnel LED fixtures. Atomos have announced a few paid and free updates for their monitor recorders. Benro announced the KH25PC and KH26PC fluid head and tripod kits. Blackmagic released Resolve 18.6.5 and Camera Update 8.5.1. Core SWX announced their new power distro system for the Burano. DOP Choice have announced the Airglow modifier. Hawkwoods have announced the Rampart 26V 1000 mAh floor battery. iFootage released the Gazelle TA3B and TC3B tripods. IRIX released white versions of their lenses. Lexar has released the SL600 SSDs. LNK Cine has released a new quick release system. Mutiny released a timecode and RS breakout for the FX3 and the FX30. Nanlite released the FL35E motorized Fresnel for the 2400B, a dual coupler kit for the Fujifilm 60C and 120C, and the magnetic base adapter kit for their Fujifilm LED series. Panasonic announced the 28-200 f4-7.1 macro OIS super zoom for L mount. Panavision announced the Ultra Panatar 2 1.3x anamorphic lenses. Portkeys have shown off their MovNorm OS update for a range of their monitors. Samyang announced a 100mm T2.3 for their VAF series. Shape announced a director's monitor kit for the Ovid Coco 10-inch monitor. SMOHD has shown off their new Quantum 32 OLED monitor. Smorg announced the PH8 fluid head and RC30B bicolor LED Fresnel light. Sigma announced two new lenses, their 15mm f1.4 DGDN and 500mm f5.6 DGDN OS Sports for Leica L and Sony E-mount. Sirui announced the SVM145 and SVM165 monopods. Teradek has announced Teradek TV. Thypop released the Cimera 28mm f1.4 for M-mount. Tiffin announced the Steadicam G70X2 ARM, and last but not least, Tilta announced a mini tool and their accessories for the Burano. If you enjoyed this, please make sure you subscribe ready for next month's Quick Kit, and let us know what kit you've picked up this month in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.